Hello, everybody. Today, we are going to talk about some of my favorite tools to help get us out of fight or flight. Stress is something that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, but a lot of people get stuck in what we call fight or flight. That's your sympathetic nervous system. And we've talked quite extensively about fight or flight and parasympathetic in other videos, but today what I want to do is just teach you some tools that help you get out of fight or flight and get that parasympathetic nervous system working as we get back into rest, digest, and heal. So we're trying to bring balance back to the system. Here, let's jump in and start getting to some tools here. Stress is not just in your head, it's a whole body event. Even we have mental stress, emotional stress, physical stress. This is a whole body event. A lot of people just relate it back to the brain, but it involves your nervous system, your vascular system, your digestive system, your endocrine and hormonal system, your muscles. It's everything is affected by our fight or flight system or we're stressing cortisol. And so there's lots of things in this world that help us get into fight or flight, but no one really talks about how to get out of it. 69% of adults identified inaccurate or misleading information as significant source of stress. So what that tells us is stop watching the news. The news has been shown to just drive people's cortisol levels out. Just pay attention to what you're being exposed to and what is getting you into the fight or flight state. We have enough things in this world. We don't need extra things to get us into that state. Technology overload, disconnection can all be driving that stress response. But in general, I want you to know that stress is not just a brain thing, it's a whole body event. The quickest way to our nervous system state is breath, our breath. God gave us a lot of tools that we can use that help our bodies work and function better. Randomized control study compared 5-minute daily breathing practices with mindfulness meditation over a month. All of the groups benefited, but what they noticed is that the people who did breathing exercises benefited more. They benefited and more benefit to what they were doing. So breathing outperformed mindfulness. Both are great tools. Breathing by and far, pound for pound, is one of the best things you can do if you're going to take time to do something, which I suggest that you do. There's a couple that I want to teach you today. One of them is called box breathing. Most people have probably heard of box breathing, but basically all it is kind of like a box. We inhale for 4 seconds, we hold for 4 seconds, we exhale for 4 seconds, and then we hold for 4 seconds. We just keep doing that box. That's why it's called box breathing. 4, 4, 4, and 4. You can just do this for 5 minutes a day. It's really good to calm that system down. So when we even get more of an exhale to an inhale, that helps calm that nervous system down as well. A longer exhale to inhale, like a 4-7-8 type breathing, can be really good for some people. The other great one that I teach a lot of my patients is the physiological sigh. And what that is a quick way to get your body to calm down. Speakers use this type of breathing right before they walk out on the stage to calm that sympathetic drive down. So they can kind of bring the critical thinking aspect back into it. Or I use it in daily life, like before, if I've had a stressful day and I'm going into lunch, I usually use a physiological sigh to help calm my body down to get into that rest to digest phase before I start to eat. That's one of the ways I use a physiological sigh. But what it is it's a deep inhale through your nose, a sharp inhale at the top, and then you let that breath out with a sigh. And so it looks like this. You breathe in, a sharp inhale at the top, and then you sigh and let it out and let your body kind of go like that limp mode a little bit. Just we call it shaking out, shake it out. And you just do 3 or 4 of those, and it can be a profound impact on just getting your body out of fight or flight. So physiological sigh is one of my favorites. Any kind of breathing technique, but box breathing and 4-7-8 breathing are some more common ones. But just setting a timer and breathing for 5 minutes can change the state of your body in a hurry. It's one of the simplest things that most people overlook, and just taking time to do it on a daily basis. Bonus points if you go outside and do it, because then you're getting some natural frequencies from the earth as well. 2 great tools to use here. When to use, like I said, when to use the physiological sigh before responding to, like if you get a stressful text or a stressful meeting or anything that has happened, just creating that pause and reducing that stimulus before you walk into your next moment. 1 to 3 physiological sighs can really shift the state. So calm your body down before you respond. Before you eat a meal, that's one of my favorite. If you had a long day at work and you're going home to the family before you walk in, it's a good time to do it. Calm the body down. Don't take work home with you. And then before difficult conversations, or if you do any kind of speaking, really good to do before you walk out and speak. Really good instances where to use the physiological sigh. Okay, so non-sleep deep rest. This is another one of my favorites that I have my patients do. But there is a systematic review or a study on this type of yoga, which is like getting you into a deep meditative state. And they had a ton of participants in it. And what it suggested is that relaxation state is really good for your body, basically. Non-sleep deep rest is kind of in this category. A study for sleep, cognition, insomnia, just stress reduction in general. You can think of it as like this picture, like when you have your phone and you have a bunch of apps on in the background and it's draining your battery faster. This is a way to clear off those apps that you're best running more efficient. Non-sleep deep rest, what it is, it's a way to change the brainwaves state of your brainwaves, and it's really calming. So I do this weekly for sure. It might not be every day, but if I've had a really just busy day at work and I come home, I'll go home and say hi to the family, but then I usually will change and I'll go outside, I'll lay in the grass and I'll do 10 minutes of non-sleep deep rest. And so I kind of do some grounding and some breath work. And all it is, non-sleep deep rest, you can YouTube this, Dr. Huberman, or it's on Spotify for free. And there's a 10, a 20, and a 30-minute session. If I'm real with myself, I mostly do the 10-minute because I just wanted a quick kind of reset. And you just put your pods in, you do what it tells you, just go through the breathing exercises, and it's a really good calmer. Where I use non-sleep deep rest, a lot of my entrepreneurs or my really busy people over lunch, sometimes I'll get a hair test back when we do hair testing and your adrenals are really talking to you. I'm like, hey, over lunch, I need you to do a 10-minute non-sleep deep rest. We need to help your adrenals from being in this crazy fight or flight state. If you're one of those people, non-sleep deep rest, really good for you. 10 minutes can really be a game changer. Do it consistently every day at lunch. I just knock out 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be outside. Like I said, bonus points if it's outside, but it doesn't have to be. Just put some earpods in, close your door if you're at your office, do 10 minutes. Really, really good benefits to non-sleep deep rest. If you need some instruction on the physiological side, Dr. Huberman's a great resource too. You can YouTube Dr. Huberman and physiological side, and he has a 3-minute video on walking you through it too if you forget how to do it. So in general, what we're trying to teach your body how to do is go in and out of that stress state. Most people get stuck in that stress state and stress on stress instead of stress and then recover back into our parasympathetic state and then stress and then recover. And we want to spend a lot more time in that parasympathetic state if we can. And if you're really having a hard time healing, it's because you're probably not in rest, digest, and heal. You're not in that parasympathetic state. We need to work more on this. Breath work is it's a super good resource for this. That's how we're talking about this. Most people get stuck in that parasympathetic or the sympathetic, running from a tiger mode, where they need to get into parasympathetic, rest, digest, and heal. So teaching your body how to do this naturally. And then one more thing I want to touch on is another one. If you're sitting in front of a screen all day, this is a good one for you, just to help recover your eyes. If you have some eye issues, this is also something good you can try out and see if you notice any benefit from it. But it's called palming. And a lot of people can have an overactive optic nerve. And a quick way to assess this is not like a bulletproof thing, but it's just something that if you are having these symptoms and try this, you can see if it improves it or helps it. And even eye strain too. But you're going to cup your palm kind of like that. And so you can see how it's not just flat. I have a little in there. And then you're going to put that over your eye. You're not putting any pressure on your eyeball. You're cupping over that eyeball. And usually I have people lay down when they do this. And you're creating total darkness is what you're doing with that. And once you have total darkness, you lay there and just breathe for about 15, 20 seconds. And the goal is for that to be completely black. And if you notice some lights that are popping up, that's can be a sign that there's an overactive optic nerve. And what you do to help calm that down is if you're seeing some light pop up or some colors, just try to look past the light. And what you'll notice is a lot of times you'll see some black little dots appearing, and then you just try to imagine those black dots going from small to a little bigger and a little bigger and a little bigger. And eventually, after you practice this, you probably won't be able to do it your first time, but if you are consistent with this, you'll be able to get that optic nerve to settle down and be black and just be in total darkness. And you can just work to achieve that, but the other thing we can do is help your eye strain. And how we do that is the same thing. You're in that total darkness. And then what you'll do after you get yourself breathing a little bit, take a minute or two and just do some breaths. You're slowly going to move your eyes all the way to one side. You want it to be a smooth shift all the way to one side, and you look as far as you can to that direction. You take your eyes, and your eyes are closed, and you have your palms over your eyes, and you go all the way to the right, and you hold them there, and you breathe for a breath, and you come back to center, and then you do the same thing to the left, all the way as far as you can go. And then you breathe again, back to center, take a breath, and then you just do all the directions. You go all the way up, and then you hold and just breathe there, all the way back to center, breath, all the way down, and then take a breath, back to center, take a breath, and then you can go all the way to the top right, and then all the way to the bottom left, back to center, and then all the way to the top left, and then all the way to the bottom right. And what that's doing is you have different muscles in the back of your eye that control all of those movements. It's helping relax those eyeballs. Normally, we should have a round eyeball. And if those muscles get taut and tense, we go to an oblong shape, and that can stress the eye, and that can mess with your eyesight as well. But what you want to try to do is relax those muscles, and that's how you do it. You're taking it all the way to one direction, you're breathing, trying to let that muscle relax, and then going back to center, and then each direction. So it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to walk through that, but palming can be a really good break, and especially a micro break if you're staring at screens all day. Another aspect that I like to do for people if they stare at screens all day is to work the other end of the spectrum. So you're in the near sighted realm while you're staring at the screen all day, and you need to stare at far distance things to readjust the eyes as well. That's working the different muscles within your eye that are differentiating close things from far away things. Something 30 feet plus away, you can just stare. A lot of times if I am out studying and I've been on a screen all day, I'll just look into the distance and just keep my focus there for 5 minutes or so my eyes can readjust before I go back to that up in front of me. But palming, really good exercise for you folks that are in front of a screen all day. And then staring off into the distance can be super helpful as well. So today, that's all I have for today, actually. But I just wanted to go over a few different, let's see if it'll let me go back. Yeah. I just wanted to go through a few different ways that you can calm the body down. So we had different breathing techniques, box breathing, our physiological sigh. Remember when we can use that. I like to use it around meals, but use it when needed. If you're in a really worked up state, it's really good to do the physiological sigh. The non-sleep deep rest, Dr. Huberman's a really good resource for this. Try this out. Go lay in the grass, do 10 minutes non-sleep deep rest. And then the last one is the palming. So if you have some eye strain along with it, you can pair the breathing techniques with some eye movement and palming, getting that optic nerve to settle down. So try some of these out and see what you think. I just wanted to give you guys some resources today on how you can use some of these tools in an everyday setting. Okay, guys, that's what I had for you today, and we will see you guys next week.